Hey, this is Prometheus giving you another formation breakdown. This is out of Steelers playbook. It is the gun bunch week. This particular formation has some great passing concepts that you can really abuse your opponent at multiple different levels. So let's go ahead and take a look at the audibles. All right, so the audibles you're going to have is the stick route, the halfback mid-draw, verticals, which actually attacks multiple different areas of the field, especially if you get an opponent that uses a lot of zone coverage, and then play action post, which is great against man coverage or blitzers. Some plays I want to do, if I was going to go ahead and pick a play as a base play, would either be the Z spot because it's got very easy reads, or I'd go with the doubles trail because it's the levels concept going to the left hand side. Running plays, I'm either going to pick the halfback base or the halfback counter. Halfback counter gets phenomenal blocking, so I like that play is one of my base run plays. So let's go ahead and take a look at the runs really quick with the halfback base. All right, so with the counter play, I've got basically a pulling guard and I've got the pulling tight end. One of the things I actually picked up on, if I want to get an inside run with a counter, because counters will take the ball and actually stretch it to the outside, what I do is actually do the spin motion right away as soon as I get the ball. And it actually just gives me an opportunity to be able to get up inside a little bit easier. So this has got really good, devastating blocking. As you can see right here, able to go ahead and get a good 25 yards on that run. Now against your opponent, you got the halfback base, which essentially is a pulling guard. Pretty good blocking right there, but you'll probably have more defenders over on that side, the right side of the formation. Primarily because you're going to have more defenders trying to cover wide receivers. So this is a nice little run play too. And then finally you've got your audible, which is the draw. And this is good if your opponent starts falling into zone coverages against you. That looked like it was a blitz. As you can see, able to go ahead and pick up some pretty easy yards with the draw. So that's enough with the running game. If I was going to go ahead and select base plays to use for passing plays, I'd either do the double trail. The double trail is one of my base plays, or the Z spot is one of my base plays. Reason why is it's going to give me some easy reads and ways to attack against my opponent. Let's just go with Z spot right away. On Z spot, it's really simple. Really, all I'm going to do is watch the spot route, which is by Antonio Brown. I'm going to see if a defender actually follows him. Most situations, coverage is going to basically it's not going to get picked up either on man or zone, and it's going to be a spot where I'll be able to pick up an easy 5 or 6 yards. Now, if a defender does fall in the area, or if I've got man coverage, I know Wheaton's going to be out open in the clear, and I also have the flat. So read is always going to be to the spot route because that's just easy yards to pick up if your opponent goes into some kind of a cover 3 shell. Now against man coverage, basically you can go ahead and take a shot up top. It looked like it was some kind of a blitz or flat, but you can see what I did in there. And obviously if there's no defender in the area, I'll go ahead and take the check down with the flat because it's just kind of a harassment route. And if your opponent is cheating up to the spot route, you can always go ahead and wait for this deep post to develop, and that'll actually be able to pick up some pretty good yards. So let's go ahead and take a look at the other play that I'd probably want to run as a base pass play. I like to come out in runs as my base or some kind of a screen play, primarily because it just forces my opponent to attack against it. But another base play that is really nice is going to be this double trail. The great thing about it is that you can leave it stock. You don't really have to worry about it. And your read is really going to be Wheaton. You're going to watch Wheaton on his read. You're going to see if a defender follows him. If a defender follows him, then it means man coverage. Generally, Wheaton will get past the man coverage. And then you have all the other routes that actually check down. Now, if it's zone coverage, you could pop Wheaton because usually there's going to be opening, or you can actually hit Brian in a deep out route. Now it looks like it's man coverage. You can pop him underneath, pick up some pretty easy yards right there. Looks like we got zone coverage, and then you have the out route deep by Bryant. And in zone, you also have those trail routes that actually can hit your opponent at a different level, so you want to take a look at those. So let's take a look at the audibles for this formation, and I want to kind of show you like these base plays that you can use are good, but I want to go ahead and simulate similar concepts attacking to the left and to the right with the base plays. So let's take a look at the first audible. All right, so for your MUT players, this is stick, and basically you've got the unique option route. Now generally I like to keep that a part of my scheme, but the way this scheme is built, I actually want to go ahead and take advantage of the ability to go ahead and put in a stock hitch route, which will basically pick up a good 5 yards for you. Progressions are going to be the following. I'm going to go ahead and watch Miller and see if anybody goes up to Miller. I'm going to go ahead and try to hit him. If not, I'm going to go to Wheaton immediately if somebody falls out in the flat, and see if I can hit Wheaton. If it is basically man coverage, I know Brown is going to be wide open. And if it's cover 2, Bryant's going to get open on the read. So my progression is going to be the tight end Miller, my slot receiver, which is Wheaton, Brown on the out, which would be going against any kind of a man coverage, and then Bryant coming over the middle against cover 2. So if I do get the flat open, I'm going to go ahead and take it immediately. That was man coverage. I probably could have waited for that to develop. But as you can see, that's going to be a route that your opponent is going to be forced to defend. Now I can hit him with the hitch route, which against man coverage is always going to be able to pick up an easy 5 yards. And then if it is zone coverage, I've got this guy coming over the middle, Bryant, that actually is going to get into certain areas if I can wait. But if it is man-on-man coverage, I've got Brown. I can actually go ahead and hit in certain areas, especially in man-on-man coverage, but right there it was just a zone he fell into. So this is a nice little play that you're going to be attacking to the right side of the field. And it's critical that you actually go ahead and make sure that you have something to complement it to the left. So I'm going to go into a different audible, and that audible is going to be the play action post. And what I want to do is going to do the similar as the trail concept. I'm going to go ahead and take my tight end and put him on a drag route, because then it gives me an initial read. If the defender actually follows Miller across the formation, I know 9 out of 10 times my tight end is going to beat that formation immediately. And if not, I've got trailing Brown that'll be able to fall into a nice little zone, and I've got Bryant on a C route. And then I've got the angle route up top at a higher level if my opponent is doing it. So as you can see, the right read would have been probably the tight end, but the tight end actually is not that fast. But if you have a faster tight end, you would have blown against your opponent fairly quickly. But it's going to force my opponent to defend the other side of the field, and you can see right there, looks like he gets away, able to pick up easy yards for that. Once again, I've got the C route I can hit. Might have got my feet in bounds on that. And if you can do it, you can hit this deep post to pick up some easy yards for that. So that's a nice compliment to hit to the left side of the field opposed to the right against your opponent. So let's take a look at the verticals. All right, so with verticals, basically I've got this type of formation. I've got my running back doing a little hitch route. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my outside receiver on the left-hand side. I'm going to put him on a drag, and he's going to essentially give me, I can either read him immediately to try to get an idea of my formation, but I want to go ahead and take a look at those wheel routes by my receivers. So I've got Miller is going to be my hot route, and that's going to fall into the seam and actually be able to pick up a good easy 5 yards, and I know, or 5 or 10 yards, and I know that Brian is going to be coming in underneath him if my opponent falls back into the zone. If it is man coverage, which it isn't, I can actually hit that area, and that was kind of a forced pass right there. Probably shouldn't have thrown that. But really what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look for that, and if it's not available, I'm going to go ahead and check down to the wide receiver, because the drag is going to get wide open, and he's going to have a big hole right there to be able to throw into. If it sometimes in the zone, you're going to be able to go ahead and nail it, and that's what I really was looking for. The zones fall back. And then you have the other wide receiver doing the crossing route that you can hit over the middle, which will actually give your opponent off kilter. He keeps defending off to the right-hand side. So this is actually just going to force your opponent to defend certain areas of the field that he might not be able to do. Now, I kind of forced that ball in there. That was probably not a very good pass decision, but is really going to force your opponent to do certain things to defend against. But as you can see, the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers are very fast. This is a scheme I'll be using on my live full game. And you'll be able to see this a little bit later on a Friday to be able to go ahead and see how the scheme works against a live opponent. Once again, I really appreciate your support and watching my channel. If you're new to my channel and you'd like to see more schemes like this, first and foremost, hit the subscribe button, hit like, and if you want to go ahead and see more stuff like this, please let me know in the comments section. Really appreciate your support, and until next time.